Hello. So today I am bringing you a review of the Janet Jackson documentary. Now, I know that this came out months ago and, I sort of passed the hype of it. But yeah, I wanted to talk about it in celebration of Miss Jackson's birthday, which is today. So I have some thoughts. Now, I will tell you, I am a huge fan of Janet Jackson. And I know the Jackson 5, their music, because my parents grew up on their music. So we did have that music playing when I was growing up. But I don't know if I would say I'm a fan or anything. I know the Jackson 5 as a musical group, and I know some of the songs. But so when I watched it, it's a 4-part documentary that Janet Jackson produced with her manager brother, Randy Jackson. And I do wish she would have been a little bit more honest and revealing about the rumors and speculation that surrounds her as well as her family. So I feel like she held back on a lot of things, but I guess she has her reasons, whatever. But the documentary, like I said, it's a 4-part series, and it took a lot of time talking about the Jackson family as a whole. So the first episode focused largely on the Jackson 5 musical group and her father, Joe Jackson, and how he steered his sons in a very specific direction as a way to get out of the hood, basically. And this was the 60s for them, and with a lot of racial tension and a lot that was going on in American society, and we weren't in a good place that was safe for Black people, I would say. Joe Jackson was very specific about getting his family out of the hood and not allowing them to turn into a statistic. So the brothers, they developed talent for musicianship. I forgot which one. Was it Tito? Or one of them would go behind Joe's back and use his guitar and learn how to play guitar. And then one day he broke one of the strings, and that's when Joe found out that they actually want to do this and they're pretty good at the music thing. So then that's what sort of became the precipice for the musical careers that the boys engaged in. And it was nice to see that, but I just was a little bit surprised because that episode focused a lot on the Jackson 5 group. And so I don't know. But I did learn that Janet, first of all, I didn't realize that the Jacksons had a Las Vegas residency. So they mentioned that, and then that was the public's initial meeting of Janet Jackson. So she was, a little itty bitty thing. She looked like she was 6 or 7 or something. And she came out with her brothers to join them on tour. Well, not on tour, but as part of the musical act for their residency. And she would, sing and dance with her brothers. And it kind of reminded me of I don't know exactly what it was called. I think the Sonny and Cher show or something like that. You can definitely see the influences when you're watching. They showed some clips of their Las Vegas show, and you definitely see the 70s influence in those clips. So, I mean, it reminded me of the Cher and Sonny show or whatever that was called, which was like a musical thing. But yeah, and then I think she even dressed up. Janet dressed up as Cher one time. But anyway, that episode mostly focused on that. And then with each episode, it would leave a cliffhanger. So I found that interesting, that it kind of felt like old TV, or maybe it's because I haven't watched TV in so long, and now I'm so used to streaming services where they really don't have, maybe they have cliffhangers, but it's just not in the same way. But that just reminded me of old TV, because every episode would end on a cliffhanger, and and they would be really good cliffhangers. So I'm not sure how they did it on Lifetime. If I'm guessing maybe they release the episodes every week or something. I'm not sure, but because they ended on cliffhangers, I'm thinking they didn't put all 4 episodes out at once. And I did write down the cliffhangers because I was just curious. Okay, so the first episode, they ended, oh, that's right. Okay, they ended with the James Devarge secret baby accusation, right? So we have been hearing about this for quite some time, and they did allude to the fact that James was the one who put out the rumor. And we do know that James, had his drug issues. So that may have been the reason for putting out the rumor, because maybe, I'm sure he got money to speak to the tabloids. And, what did he have left going for him at that point? Because I'm wondering where the Devarge family was at the time as far as their music career. Because I don't remember what year they said they got married. I think it was around 82 or something. But, so I don't know much about the Devarge, their success and their peak, and when it all came to an end. But I'm thinking he put the rumor out for some money. And so it would have been nice to hear Janet be more direct about her thoughts on him putting out the rumor. But she kept it nice, I'll say. And so she just said, she never really denied it, though. She never explicitly denied it. She just said that she would never keep a child from their father. She would never do that. So I found it strange that she never emphatically denied that she had a child. I mean, I don't think she had a child, because obviously that's 9 months, right? If we're assuming she carried the child to full term. But still, at that point in her career, there was a lot of scrutiny and attention around her. So I don't see how she could have covered up a baby bump for 9 months. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, So she did explain that she was on birth control for a while, and so she picked up some weight. But that might explain a couple of months. But again, if you had a baby to term, you get a lot larger than just, a little extra weight. You know what I mean? So it never made sense to me, because I'm like, I don't see how she could have been gone for 9 months. Like there's nowhere in her in that point of her life, there's no there's no 9 month absence. So like, when did she have time to go away to hide the fact that she was pregnant? And then she was filming, I think Fame. I think it was Fame that they showed. And then Debbie Allen was like, well, where's the baby? Nobody ever saw a baby. So anyway, it's just a ridiculous rumor that, obviously stupid people want to keep talking about. But so they discussed that, and how the James drug problem led to the demise of their marriage, which was annulled within a year. So there was that. And then there was, let's see. Then we met Renee in episode 2. And again, I feel like this documentary didn't go into what it should have gone into, because I remember in the 90s, I didn't know much about it because I was like a teenager. I didn't know much, but I think there was something where they were talking about Janet was already married to Renee, but she was going around acting like he was just her boyfriend or fiance. And they, you know what, I started to say they never addressed this, but her sister Rebe did say, it sounds like she even now is still unsure of when they were married, because she did say something about when she met Renee, she thinks they were already married. So apparently she still doesn't know exactly when they were married. So Janet never addressed that in the documentary, the lie, which, why? I don't know. I don't get that. Why did she make the documentary if she wasn't going to address this stuff? But she didn't. So then, everything's great with Renee, and he seems to have a knack for photography and directing. They talk about the infamous Rolling Stones cover with him holding her boobs up and stuff like that. And then that one ends on a cliffhanger as well, which is the beginning of her brother Michael Jackson's legal woes. So I didn't realize it affected her career as well, which was a shame, because she was about to sign a deal with Coca-Cola, and then that fell apart because of the accusations that came out about Michael Jackson. And then they talked about, so then I think that the first trial with Michael Jackson, that ended in a settlement. And obviously we know with a settlement, it kind of implies guilt, and an admission of guilt. And so that didn't look so good. And then again, that affected her career as well. And people wanting to, I guess, distance themselves from the Jackson family, So she talked about that. But then she also talked about how once the accusations started coming out, then some people came into Michael Jackson's life, and I guess his management team or whatever, and then they kind of shielded him from his family. And she would go to visit, and then all of a sudden she wasn't allowed to visit him. She couldn't see him, and she didn't elaborate on who it was or whatever, but it just sounds like it was around that time when she noticed a shift with her brother and his closeness with the family. And then that ended. So episode 3 ended with the nipplegate. it didn't go into it, but it ended with bringing up the nipplegate scandal. So in episode 4, they talk about the Super Bowl and the FCC investigation because of public outrage about that situation. And looking back at that situation, I feel like they clearly targeted Janet Jackson, because it's so odd that they didn't do anything to Justin Timberlake when both of them were in the situation. You know what I mean? Like, they both were on stage, they both were a part of that accident, or whether it was a planned situation, but it was both of them. And yet Janet said that she was disinvited to the Grammys, you know. And it was literally within days, it sounded like, because they showed the Grammys and they showed, you know, the seat markers and who was going to attend, and her name was there. So she clearly was getting ready to go to the Grammys. And then they just took that invitation back. But Justin Timberlake was still there. So I found that astounding, we'll say. But yeah, so she talked about that, and then for a while it negatively impacted her career, because a lot of things were taken from her, a lot of opportunities. It seemed quite intentional, that situation. I don't know. But then they ended with her getting, you know, her flowers. She was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she received a lot of other Lifetime Achievement Awards and accolades like that. So she did hint at enjoying the video so far. Please give it a like and subscribe if you want to keep up with Junkie for a Story. On my channel, I upload videos every week. Usually they are book and film related, and sometimes I will discuss current events involving celebrity figures. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Back to the video. She hinted at possibly doing something with the Super Bowl. Now, this did come out in January, so I'm wondering if that was maybe publicity for the Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know when Super Bowls come out or whatever. I don't watch that. But it seems strange to me, because she hinted at it like she was maybe in talks with them to do something, but we know she has been banned from performing at the Super Bowl. So, I mean, obviously they need to go on and lift that ban, but I don't know if they have. I don't believe they have, but it sounds like she's implying that they're in negotiations or something. There's something up. But yeah, so and then her third marriage. She talked briefly about her third marriage, and then her baby boy, the birth of her baby boy when she was 50 years old, and how everyone was, you know, talking about her age and how she's a mother for the first time at that age, which is valid. I mean, 50 years old. So, but she has a beautiful, healthy baby boy, and she is quite proud of being a mom, and that was really nice to see. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this documentary, but I wish she would have been a little more revealing, because there are a lot of rumors out there surrounding her name, and that's what we have, are the rumors, because she's quite private. And she even talked about how she wanted to do this documentary because she's used to everyone else telling her story, and so she wanted to tell the story. But I feel like she didn't tell the story. She just kind of, you know, glossed over stuff, but it was just, it didn't didn't go that deep into the story, in my opinion. You know, it touched on some headlines, but I don't feel like I know any more than what the headlines said. So that's just my opinion. But she really didn't go there. Like, she didn't go. But anyway, those are my thoughts on that. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I post videos every week. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.